Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our little nature paradise today. I am up north at our cottage. You've been with me here before. I'm glad we can do our throat chakra journey here together today. Today is our fifth chakra. We've gone through 4 chakras already. We've worked our way from the ground and we're moving our way up. Like the trees in the earth, grounded down, we're now moving up the stem of our tree trunk. Now, the 5th chakra is the Vishuddha chakra, and it is the throat chakra. And it is the element of our basic right to speak and to be heard. And I think I mentioned in our warm-up that this particular chakra is very special to me. And I think I say that every week because there's always elements of each of these chakras that have resonated with me in my journey through the chakras over the years that I've really tapped into and really been able to turn inward and find that inner truth. And certainly my throat chakra, the Vishuddha chakra, we've all felt at times where we couldn't speak and speak our truth, or even say what's on our mind. That is where this chakra really comes into play. So the Vishuddha actually means especially pure. And it governs our mouth, our tongue, and our neck. And it relates to our communication and our ability to understand and speak our inner truth from a place of purity. So speaking what is coming from the inside and letting it out. The Vishuddha chakra is also realming around this idea of creativity. And this is where we take those inner thoughts, we take those inner creative parts of ourselves and we allow ourselves that ability to communicate. And that is really a creative process within our lives. When we don't have the ability to communicate, we don't have the ability to speak our truth, we might feel blocked, we might suppress that sense of creativity. And creativity is really a form of expression. It's really how we express and how we express our inner self. I mean, if you look at paintings and in museums and you look at it, and it's a form of expression. So this is also very much intertwined with our sense of creativity. So today I want to I will tell you one more thing about this particular, because we've talked about all the different elements of the earth. The element of our Vishuddha chakra is space, is ether, creating space for ourselves. So today is going to be a real exploration of space and expression. And I want you to make your space as comfortable as possible to be able to freely express yourself. We're going to be doing lion's breath today. We're going to be doing breath of joy, where we create a little bit of constriction in the throat, where we really center around this space. Towards the end of our practice, we're going to come down and we're going to rest on our mats. We're going to make ourselves comfortable and really allow ourselves to tune into that inner creative self. So today I will begin seated. However, for some, this might not feel comfortable. And if it doesn't feel comfortable, feel free to go sit in the chair or maybe prop yourself up. I find that is just a huge help to be able to sit up tall. Maybe even put yourself up against a wall. And we're just going to begin by finding some quiet space from within. So maybe feel free to let your hands rest at the sides. Maybe close your eyes. Only when it feels safe. And just take a moment here to just check in. Take a moment to tune in to where you are at in this very moment. Is there an inner voice from within that needs to be expressed? Is there something that you're holding on, holding back, suppressing that throat chakra? And I spoke earlier about my roar moment and my warm-up, and that was truly a moment of speaking my truth. Many, many times I've held back. I've held back for fear of upsetting or creating evil. And we don't have to be forceful in our voice, but we need to speak from a place of works for us, speaking our truth. And that's what I had a couple of days ago. I had that moment to just release. And I want you to envision the color blue around the throat area. Maybe you can even visualize the breath coming in, a soft blue. And as it breathes out, it's a little darker. Maybe you notice the temperature, the cool temperature coming in through the nose, down the throat. And then exhaling out of the nose. Bringing awareness to that throat space, to that center of communication, to that right to speak and that right to be heard. Try to settle in with your shoulders. Try to find a long spine without being rigid, but rather than create that length like a tree growing out of the earth. Planting your roots into your sits bones, growing tall. And there's this sense of confidence that really starts to build as we lengthen our spine. You can maybe even start to imagine all the chakras from the sits bones all the way to the throat. Muladhara, Svadhisthana, Manipura, our heart chakra that we did last week, and now our throat. We're coming into the upper part of our body, into the spiritual realm. Continue to breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the nose. And now I'd like us to continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, but I would like us to focus on a constricting of the throat, inviting our victorious breath, our Ujjayi breath. So maybe you take a deep breath to the belly, and as you exhale, you slightly constrict the throat and breathe out of the nose with that slight constriction, and you create this ocean sound. So breathe in that light blue color and breathe out. Maybe you even take the tips of your fingers to the throat, and you can feel the vibration of the throat as you breathe out. Clearing that space. Imagine any blockages of that throat space clearing out as you breathe in and breathe out. Now, as you take the next couple of breaths, I'd like you to repeat to yourself, I speak my truth. I speak my truth. I speak my truth. Maybe you repeat it silently, maybe you repeat it out loud in japa, or a japa japa where you repeat silently to yourself. And I'd like you to take that blue light, and I want you to let that blue light lighten the chest, the ribs, and all the way down to the core, all the way down to the sits bones. And you deepen into that inner truth of speaking your truth. And you ground into this space, this opportunity to tap into that creative self of yours, which we all have. Allowing thoughts that are not serving us, oftentimes negative thoughts, allow them to dissipate and tune into your truth. Recognizing that the thoughts that we often say to ourselves are untruths. I am not enough. I need to lose weight. I need to be a better mother. I need to be a better wife. I need to be a better friend. All those things that we say to ourselves constantly. Tune into the truth of your inner being, knowing that those words that are created by our mind are not our truth. They are things we latch onto because sometimes speaking our truth is hard. It's easier to criticize than to compliment. But today I want you to tune into that space of yours and tune in with a positive mind and a positive set of words and speak your truth. That you are enough. And you are a wonderful friend. And you are perfect exactly the way you are. You're the most wonderful partner, mother, person. I speak my truth. Maybe you allow your eyes to stay closed here. Relaxing the arms and the shoulders. And I'd like you to gently bow down your chin towards your heart, connecting to your heart chakra, to your Anahata chakra, that love and compassion chakra. Because we need to be love and compassionate towards ourselves to recognize our truth, to acknowledge all the amazingness that we are. As you bow down towards your heart, soften your upper body and let your body ground in even more. Create this connection with the earth that feels solid and safe and stable. And as you take your next inhale in through the nose, start to lift the chin up and open up the throat space. And I want you to imagine this bright, 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 bright blue light emanating from the throat. Maybe you even envision words that you need to let out of yourself. Let them expand, let them come out to the universe. I speak my truth. Let your chin come down to your heart, lengthen the back of your neck, come back to your heart. I am love, I am compassionate. And then go ahead and open and close the neck, opening, lifting the chin, expanding through the throat, and then back to your heart, coming back to your inner self. Allow this to be an opportunity to express yourself. Maybe you even let it out verbally. Maybe you silently repeat it to yourself, whatever words you need to let go of. I'm strong. I am enough. I'm determined. I'm smart. I'm funny. I'm beautiful. I am more than a smaller pair of pants. That the body that I hold is the perfect body. There need not be anything more. And that I nourish my body by movement, by breath, by connecting to my truth. The next time you let your chin drop to your heart, Let us bring our hands to heart center. And let us remind ourselves that we are not alone, that we are one. You and I are the same. I see the light in you and you see the light in me. Allow the hands to drift down to the thighs, and maybe you start to open your eyes. Invite your gaze into the room and where you are. Keep the gaze soft. Keep your grounding, your sits bone grounded. And let's just gently turn over to the right. Turn that gaze, moving through the neck, and back through center, and then over to the other side. Just allowing a little bit of gentle movement here through the neck, through the throat. Breathing in through the nose, inviting that victorious breath here. And breathing out through the nose with that slight constriction of the throat. I want you to take a moment just to remind yourselves of all of us being together in this very moment, in this very space. All connecting, all breathing. Next time you find yourself over towards the right shoulder, soften your shoulders and turn your gaze down. Take your left arm out if it feels comfortable. Inhale, lift the chin, turn back through center, over to the left. Reach the right arm out, turn the gaze down towards the earth. Inhale, lift your gaze, pull yourself back through center. Wonderful. Now we're going to make it into our all fours position. So let's go ahead and come up. Maybe shake your legs out a little bit. We've been sitting here for a bit. Get a little bit of that movement and that blood flowing. My feet are starting to fall asleep a little bit. And then whenever you're ready, let's make our way into all fours. And if you've got some knee things going on, let's put some blankets underneath those knees. I'm on a hard surface here. So you're like me, maybe you need to have a little bit of softness underneath the knees. So I'm actually going to take my sweater. So from here, let's go ahead and make our way into all fours with our back long and our knees hip distance apart. And we're going to begin by doing some gentle cat-cow, and then we're going to invite a lion's breath. So let's begin here with all fours, hands underneath elbows and shoulders, shoulders rolled back, hands pressing gently into the floor. Inhale, start to tilt the pelvis, articulating through the spine, opening up through the heart. Exhale, pull the belly in, round in through the spine, let the head drop. Feel the neck release, feel the throat release, feel the head release. Breathe in, open up your heart, coming back to Anahata. Exhale, pull the heart in, let the neck come in towards the heart. And as you're breathing in and breathing out, we're in keeping our Ujjayi breath here, just for a moment. Then we're going to invite our lion's breath. Lion's breath is truly a wonderful way to clear the throat chakra of any blockages. So I want you to allow yourself to really play around with lion's breath. And lion's breath, we're going to lengthen out the tongue as we breathe out, and we're going to make a really nice loud sound. And almost envision this bright blue light coming out from the throat. So when you're ready, let's go ahead and come into all fours, and I'm going to just face the camera here for a moment. And as we start in all fours, hands onto the earth, We're going to breathe in. And as we're going to breathe in, we're going to stick the tongue out and breathe out. Breathe in, rounding through the spine. Exhale, breathe out. Find your cow. And let the tongue just hang out. Good. And breathe out. I know this can feel a little funny at home. So this is where I need you to tune in. Allow that space around you to feel safe. Allow yourself to express yourself. Allow your tongue to come out as far as you can, clearing any blockages there. Let's do 2 more. And then when you're ready, go ahead and make your way back in towards your tabletop position, and let's come right into child's pose. Knees wide, big toes together. Press down through your tailbone. Let your heart space rest. Maybe you stack the hands to lift the earth to meet your body. Extending through the back body. And I'd like you to take a few nice big clearing breaths here, breathing in through the nose and a sigh out of the mouth. Allow the shoulders to soften, allow your body to melt. Notice how the body just maybe wants to release a little bit. So just allow any stress in the back of the body to be free. Maybe you notice a little more clearing in the throat just after that lion's breath. There's a sense of maybe a little bit of opening there. And then whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and lift our fingertips, or the tips, the heel of our hands off the floor, and tips of the fingers are down into the floor. Lift the forehead, and let's just do a side bend here. So walking the hands over to the left side, pressing down through the right hip, expanding the right side of the body, breathing into the ribs, and then sighing it out. Breathing in and breathing out. And then when you're ready, walk your hands through center and then over to the other side. Same thing, breathe into the ribs and then sigh it out. Melt into that exhale. And then when you're ready, walk your hands back through center. And let's go ahead and shift onto our tummies. So taking the legs back long, and we're going to make our way into Sphinx pose. So as we come down to the tummy, elbows underneath the shoulders, belly button lifts up. You can always support your low back by placing maybe a bolster underneath the navel, if that feels better for your back. So please experiment with that. And I'll just actually quickly demonstrate kind of how that might work. So right here, and this is just going to help lift up a little bit, feel a little bit less pressure on the low back. Actually, I'm going to stay here because this feels really nice. Now from here, I'd like you to take the gaze and just gently lift it as you pull your shoulder blades back. Now, if you don't have a bolster at home, but you've got some pillows, that's absolutely fine as well. And as you're in Sphinx pose, we're going to really lift through the heart space as well as the throat. Relaxing through the shoulders. Try to relax the low back. And then maybe from here, only if it feels good, we'll take a gander over to the right side. And then a gander over to the left. I'm not sure gander is the right word. A little gaze over to the right and over to the left. Just gently moving through the neck here. And if you have any neck issues, I want you to explore what feels best for you. Maybe it's not rotating. Maybe it's a gentle lowering and lifting of the chin. Maybe it's simply staying in Sphinx. And the next time you come back through center, let's go ahead and we'll press ourselves back, coming into child's pose. And just to counterbalance that extension, so find a little press back, let the back release, let the arms extend if that feels good for you. Just take a couple of breaths to the back of the body. And then when you're ready, let's go ahead and sit on our heels. Now, if you've got yoga blocks at home and sitting on your heels doesn't feel ideal, I encourage you to set a yoga block right between the ankles perhaps and sit directly on here. Or you can come into Sukhasana, finding your easy seated pose. You can also curl the toes under, just a little lift yourself up if that feels good. Remember, we're going to explore ourselves today, making sure it feels good for us. From here, we're going to roll the shoulder blades back. I just want you to loosen up through the upper body. Keep the gaze soft. Wonderful. Now we're going to explore a little modified camel. So we have a couple of options for camel. We can stay just seated. So when you're ready, we'll roll the shoulder blades back and just relax them down. We can stay seated on our heels. Maybe bring the hands to our hips and just open up through the chest by lifting and bringing the elbows in towards center and just lifting up through the heart. And there's a slight lift of the chin, and I want you to imagine this bright blue light kind of emanating from the heart space. That's option number one. Option number two, we come up into a kneeling position. This may feel okay, this might not, depending on your knees. Rolling the shoulder blades back, lifting up through the heart, lifting and opening up that throat. Pulling up through the belly, really grounding into your body here. Maybe you play around by reaching down. I'm going to actually curl my toes under, reaching back to one heel. This is really optional. Opening up through the chest. Maybe you rest that right hand back through center, still keeping the chest open. Maybe you reach for the left heel with the left hand. Maybe you come back towards center. Perhaps you roll both hands and you interlace them and you open up the heart and the throat. Again, you can do this seated on your heels. You can do this in Sukhasana too. There are so many options, no limitations. Just find what works for your body. And then when you're ready, release the hands. Shake it out. Let's do a couple of shoulder rolls to loosen up through the upper body. Wonderful. And let's go ahead and make our way onto our sits bones. So we're going to go ahead and sit down on our sits bones and we're going to lengthen out through the legs. and find our staff pose here. And from here, we're going to go ahead and lengthen out the arms. And I just kind of shift my weight side to side so that I can really connect in through the sits bones, but also to really find some length through the back of the body. If you find yourself rounding, maybe you go ahead and sit yourself up onto some blankets or something to prop yourself up a little bit so you really can invite some length through the low back. And from here, we're going to breathe and extend the body. And as you exhale, release the breath and come all the way down to a forward bend. Allowing the chin to drop towards the chest. Lengthening the back of the neck, lengthening the back of the body. Continuing to breathe in and breathe out. Maybe we're coming back to our Ujjayi breath. Settling yourself in here. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, go ahead and walk your hands back through center. Lift the chin, open up the throat, let the head bob back, and then let the chin pull in. Inhale, open up the heart, open up the throat. Exhale, draw the chin in towards your heart. Inhale, lift. Exhale, close it up. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and do one more. Kind of loosening up the neck and the throat, the shoulders. And then come right back in towards center. Wonderful. Go ahead and bend into the knees. We're going to set the hands behind us and we're going to press the tips of the fingers into the floor and we're going to gently lift the heart. Maybe knees are wide. Open up the heart space, open up the throat, lift up. Ground into the feet, ground into the sits bones, ground into the fingertips. Imagine you've got that beautiful shield of strength emanating from your heart. Allowing yourself to express yourself coming from that heart space and from that throat. And then slowly release, come back through center. Wonderful. We're going to slowly make our way up towards a standing position. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and press into the floor and we're going to meet at the top of our mat. And today I thought we would practice breath of joy. Breath of joy is kind of a fun breath. And it can really encompass a sense of creativity because we allow ourselves to flow here. Now, I want you to take on breath of joy in whatever rendition works for you. And I'm going to start very slow. And you can kind of explore with maybe expanding the breath and going into a little bit more vigorous breath, remembering to slow down as it feels a little unbalancing, okay? So we're going to start at the top of our mat. And we're going to breathe in through the nose, extend the arms. Breathe out, release the arms down to the side. Breathe into the side. Breathe out. Breathe in up towards the sky. And then as you're going to exhale, you're going to bend the knees and come all the way down. Breathe in, lift the arms. Breathe out, lower the arms. Breathe into the side, lift. Breathe out. Breathe in, lift, lengthen your body. Breathe out, lower down, release. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, lower. Breathe into the side. Breathe in, lower. Breathe in, up. Breathe in, down, up. I want you to tap into your breath here, and I want you to tap into that inner voice of yours. And I want you to explore whatever version works for you. So let your arms flow. Let yourself be creative with this. Let yourself release. Imagining that you've got that inner voice in you that needs to express itself. It needs to say what it needs to say. It needs to create whatever it needs to create. So let itself just expand out. Maybe you visualize that blue light. Let's do one more. Breathe in. Go at your own pace. And then when you're ready, breathe in. And whenever you're ready, meet at your heart center. And just take a moment. Just take a moment to notice the earth beneath you. Take a moment to quiet the breath, to quiet everything. See that blue light. Breathe in, sweep the arms all the way above your head. Exhale, lead with the heart, lead with the throat, come all the way down, forward fold. Let the head dangle. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, rest your shoulders back. Sit back into your chair. Feel that pressure of the feet into the floor. Open up your heart, lengthen your arms. Maybe you explore your arms. Maybe you want to see where your arms can go and be creative and allow yourself to express yourself. Allow yourself maybe to even give yourself a hug as you are in chair. Just explore what feels right. The next time you take your inhale, extend the body long. Release the hands to the side. Inhale, take the arms all the way overhead. Exhale, swan dive it down, bend into the knees, lengthen through the spine, let the head drop. And I want you to take a moment just for a brief second here. And I want you to imagine the crown of head emptying any thoughts that are not serving you. Those I can't statements or I am not statements. And then as you take your next inhale, I want you to imagine you're going to fill yourself with those I am statements. As you extend your body overhead, exhale, release. Take out whatever residual I am not statements and let them drift away from your body. Breathe in, and I want you to fill your space with I am. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, breathe in, I am. Exhale, one more time, release, forward fold. Find yourself in a forward fold here. Press the fingertips down to the floor. Take your right foot back into a high lunge. Inhale, scoop your arms back. Exhale, reach. Find a high crescent lunge. From here, sweep your arms behind you. Set your hands behind your hips, and I want you to open up that heart. I want you to imagine your throat is open, full of expression. Your heart is compassionate and loving. And all you feel is this inner truth speaking to you. You feel a sense of grounding into the earth here. An unshakable stability. You stand like a superstar. Inhale, release the arms, extend the arms up overhead. Exhale, swim both arms out to the side, framing the left foot. Bring the right foot back, find your forward fold.
Now, as you're in your forward fold, maybe coming into a full forward fold does not feel ideal. Maybe we'll come into half forward fold. And I want you to shake your head no. And shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Let the head feel heavy. Let everything release. Shake the head yes. Beautiful. And then as you're here, let your head just drift down, bend into the knees, sweep the arms all the way up. And this time take the left foot back, find your high crescent lunge. Drop the shoulders, bring the hands to the hips, emanate from your heart and from your throat. Open up your space. I speak my truth. Allow that blue light to shine so bright. As you're ready, release your arms back. Exhale, lift up. And then bring the hands on either side of the right foot, framing the foot. Bring the left foot back, forward fold. Inhale, bend into the knees, sweep the arms all the way up. Bring your palms to your heart center in Samastitihi. And just for a moment or two here, I just want you to notice the feet. I want you to open up through the throat, open up your heart. And I want you to imagine something you've told yourself for years that is an untruth. And I want you to find that counter thought. And I want you to replace those words of I can't to I am and I can. And I want you to repeat that even beyond our practice today, to remind yourself that you are and you can. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, I want you to release the arms out to the side, forward fold. Take the right foot back and let's meet the left foot to the right, downward dog. Press down through the heels, relaxing through the shoulders, let the throat soften, even clear the throat here. Breathe in and breathe out. When you're ready, go ahead and bend in through the knees, set the knees down to the floor, press back onto your heels, child's pose. And then when you're ready, let's go ahead and shift onto all fours. And we're going to come onto our back. And if you have a bolster or a yoga block, I'm going to encourage you to grab it. And before we do an inversion, we're going to move into an inversion with fish. But before you lie down on your back, if you're already down, I'm sorry, you need to come back up. We're going to get ready for fish. So there's different versions of fish. If you've got a yoga block, you can set the yoga block. I don't have one, so unfortunately I left it at home, but you can set it underneath or between your shoulder blades, and we'll go into a modified fish pose. And that's a wonderful way to open up through the throat and through the chest. I'm going to show you the version I do with my elbows. So I'm going to begin by setting my fingertips kind of underneath my glute area, and I'm going to tuck my elbows in and set myself down onto the back of my elbows. So there's a really big chest expansion here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lengthen my legs out long. Inner thighs are going to squeeze together. My chest is going to I'm going to start rolling my shoulder blades back as I lift through my chest, finding that expansion. And then as I'm ready, I'm going to allow my throat to open and my head to fall back as far as feels comfortable. Now, maybe if you've got a yoga block, you're just going to set it between the shoulder blades and just rest on that yoga block and open up the throat.
Some people can come very far down. I can just lift my head down and just allow some comfort to open up through the throat space. Let the shoulders release down away from the ears. Find that lift through the sternum, finding that extension. Take a few breaths here. Let that blue light just shine. And then whenever you're ready, start to gently pull the chin in. Don't go too fast. And then maybe open up the elbows, come down to the floor. Take the hands out from underneath the glutes and rest your hands at the side. Wonderful. Take a breath here. Let's take our knees in towards our chest. And now when you're ready, go ahead and set your feet down. Let's just windshield wiper the knees in and out. Thinking of all the space around us. Remembering that when we think of Vishuddha, we think about ether and we think about space. Own your space. You are allowed to take space. Maybe when you're ready, we'll come back through center. Now we're going to come into a couple of different options for our inversion, and then we're going to slowly come back into our Shavasana, or come to our Shavasana. So one inversion is candlestick, and I'm going to just show you by taking my bolster here. You can use a yoga block. So go ahead and press your feet into the floor and lift your sacrum up if you do have a bolster that you want to use for candlestick. If you don't have anything at home, you can set your sacrum down on the floor and simply lift your legs from there. I like a bolster or a yoga block. It just kind of gives my hips a little lift. So this is option one. And if leaving your legs lifted doesn't feel great or it feels fatiguing, feel free to let your feet or your heels rest up against the wall somewhere if you can. I say every week that this is a really restorative pose, and it's really, really a powerful pose to just calm the nervous system down. So if it doesn't feel comfortable and you're struggling with it, maybe take your feet to the wall, and that's going to really just help, give you that little bit of support there that we need sometimes. So this is option one. Option two is to move into a supported shoulder stand. And again, this is really going to be optional for everybody. I don't want anybody to move into a space that doesn't feel comfortable. If you're familiar with shoulder stand and you've done it before, feel free to move into it. If you aren't sure, I'm going to give you some guidelines and you can just explore if you want to. Maybe you just simply play around by lifting a little bit of the sacrum a bit off the bolster or the yoga block. But coming from the bolster, we'll just need to make a little bit of maneuvering, or some blocks you might need to maneuver. So as we're ready, we're going to lift up the legs, and I'm going to go ahead and set my sacrum off the ground. And I'm going to tuck my elbows underneath, and I'm going to set my hands right at my low back here. From here, I'm kind of coming into plow pose. I'm going to go ahead and lift my legs. And I'm really using a lot of the support from my elbow, but I'm also using glutes of my abdominals here. So again, if maybe candlestick is a wonderful inversion and a wonderful way
to come into this inversion. This is a little bit more of an intense one. I don't do a lot of these in class, but for the throat chakra, this is a wonderful throat chakra inversion. So I'm doing it today, but as you know, I don't typically do this in class too often. If it is part of your wheelhouse, then I encourage you to do some inversions because they're great, but they can be a little intense. Take a breath in, breath out. Now, if you are in shoulder stand, we're going to move our way out of it, but we're going to come through plow first. So legs come overhead. And you're going to use your core and your glutes to come all the way back down onto that bolster, onto the block, back to candlestick. Set your feet down, slowly ground your feet to the floor. Take a breath. It's an invigorating pose. Set your heels down and lift your sacrum. And go ahead and just rest down to the floor. Maybe one last time, take your knees in towards your heart. And feel free to rock yourself side to side. Now, we're going to get into our Shavasana, and I'm going to come up to a seated pose, but I'd like you all to go ahead and get really super cozy and comfortable. And I'm going to walk you through a meditation here for our Shavasana today. So maybe get a blanket on, maybe get some socks on. And just get ourselves into that most comfortable position. And however you are right now, I want you to let your whole body get really relaxed. If you're sitting down, relax your hands on your lap or at your side, whatever feels most comfy for you. And go ahead and close your eyes now. This time is for you. Leave all your worries at the door. Allow yourself to relax into the flow of the moment. Whatever comes easily for you is just right. There is only right here, right now. The future and the past do not exist right now. Notice any sounds outside of the room. Acknowledge them and let them go. Notice any sounds inside of the room. Acknowledge them and let them go. Tell your body to relax. Let your feet and legs soften into position. Drop your shoulders. Relax your hands. Allow your whole body to soften and to relax into a natural position. Now tell your head and face to relax. Your scalp and your hair. Your ears. Your jaw and your chin. Your cheeks. Your nose. Your eyes. Your eyebrows. Your forehead.
all soft and relaxed. Take a cleansing breath in and a breath out, releasing the tension in the body. Allow your breathing to fall into its own natural rhythm, not trying to control it in any way. Just observing as you breathe in relaxation and breathe out tension. Breathing in and breathing out. Just watch the natural breath of your breathing. If thoughts intrude, allow them to pass and to flow, and return your attention to your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Bring your attention to your throat area. Imagine a lovely little sky blue light there, swirling around like a little whirlpool. Try to notice how it feels and how it looks. Try to get a sense of how it is functioning. Can you feel any tingling? What thoughts are popping into your head? Is it swirling and moving? What speed is it? Does it feel fast or slow? A little small light or a big enlarged light? Can you see any color in your mind's eye? Visualize again the little blue light around your throat area. Watch as the blue glow starts to gently spread out and get bigger as it spins. Now bring your attention to your breathing. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. As you take your next breath in, visualize yourself breathing in turquoise blue light down into your throat area. With every breath in, you pull in more fresh blue light, allowing it to fill your throat chakra and your neck area, spreading out your whole body. Breathing in the blue light down into your chest, your arms and hands, down into your pelvis, your legs and your feet. Breathing in blue light up to your head, letting it fill your entire body, connecting with all other chakras. As you breathe in this turquoise blue light, it brings you truth, clear expression, good listening. As you breathe out, the blue light removes all blockages. Feel the lovely blue glow as it gently spins and envelops you. Breathing in blue light, breathing out tension. Tell yourself that you are clear, you are truthful, you are expressive. Breathe in blue light, Breathe out tension. Breathe in blue light and breathe out tension. Imagine again the spinning sky blue orb and imagine it opening like a twirling flower, stretching out wide in diameter. Now see the light and energy of the divine positive guidance pouring into your mind and your hearing, enlightening every cell of your being. And hold this image for 5 to 7 breaths. Now let us bring our attention to our chest area, to the green light of the heart chakra. Visualize the swirling blue light getting smaller, bringing it down to around the size of a fairy light, bringing it back down to normal function. Repeat to yourself, my throat chakra is working at normal function. My throat chakra is working at normal function. Bring your awareness back to the flow of your breathing, in and out, in and out. Notice the cool breath as it comes in through your nose and down the back of your throat and into your lungs. Notice the natural movement of your tummy as you breathe in and out. Be aware of your full body again as it rests against the floor. And let us just take a moment here. Let's go ahead and bring our attention to our toes. Give them a little wiggle. And then to your fingers and give them a little wiggle. Maybe you give your shoulder a little shrug as they lift and lower away from the ears. Let yourself become aware of the sounds of the room. And then perhaps we may roll onto our favorite side and just take a moment there. And as you roll on your side, I want you to imagine you're cradling that blue light, holding it on to you and taking it with you beyond the mat. Holding it like you would a precious stone. And then at your own pace, maybe you stay there a little longer, or if you'd like, go ahead and press yourself up into an easy seated pose. And let's go ahead and meet at heart center. We're going to close our practice today by taking 3 deep clearing breaths. And I want you to imagine that sense of expression just emanating from your mouth as you breathe out. Maybe you extend your arms overhead if it feels good. Maybe you keep your hands in Anjali Mudra. It is entirely up to you. Breathe in. With a gentle bow of our head towards our hands and towards our heart. Let us be reminded of the divine that lives within us all. May your heart always stay warm, and may your smile always stay broad. And may the light that shines in me honor and see the light that shines in you. Namaste. As always, from my heart to yours, I can't thank you enough for joining me today. This has been an incredibly powerful morning. I hope you felt that blue light shining from you, and I hope you take it with you on and off the mat, wherever you go. The only thing I know for true is that we must speak our truth. So always remember that. Thank you again so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope to see you again next week for our 6th chakra, Ajna. Thank you, everyone. Namaste.